All right, it is officially time, 10 p.m. here in Denmark, and time to get the show started. Happy to see everyone. We're just going to give people a minute more to join this hour. Just some practical notes before we get in. We will be sharing the presentation and the recording afterwards. So in case you need to jump out at any point, you can always do that, and we'll follow up. Also, since we are doing this in Teams, you actually have the ability to flip through the presentations and even watch the videos sort of ahead of time if you want to. Right, let's just get going. All right, for the agenda today, it's going to be similar to those of you who have seen it in the past. I'll talk a little bit more about specific in a minute. In terms of introduction, then for those of you who have not met me yet, I'm Anders. I am one of the 3 co-founders here at SlideHub. I have a background as a consultant where I used to make a ton of PowerPoint slides. I'm also a long-time programmer/nerd, and with my role in SlideHub, I get to do those 2 full-time and can basically combine those 2 passions. With me today, I have my co-founder Rune, who's our CMO and also our head of customer success. And like me, Rune also used to be a consultant and have done an endless number of slides as well. Today, we will focus on the product, both in terms of what's new here in Q1 and what to expect in the coming 2 quarters. In general, we are very data-driven here in SlideHub, and we've been, doing this webinar for I think around 10 quarters at this point, and we continually ask for feedback and do analytics based on when people drop off. We can just see that these are the 2 topics that people truly care about. So those we'll focus on today. For those of you who are not familiar with SlideHub, then a quick recap. We normally present SlideHub as a presentation management and automation software that streamlines on-brand slide creation. The way we think about the product is split between the 2 core groups of users that we serve. At one end of the spectrum, we are the main focus that's the end users. So those are the hardworking individuals that build presentations every day in some cases. For the end users, the application is really about finding content quickly and finding content that you can trust, meaning that it's on brand, that it's the latest version. You also know that it doesn't have any conflicts with GDPR or other personal data restrictions. The other part is the automation part and the ability to customize decks and presentations and sort of make life easier and save time while of course still being on brand. For the other set of users, that's the administrators, the content managers. For that set of users, our focus is really to help them make the end users experience as good as possible by making it easy and effortless to some extent to update and maintain the right content in SlideHub, and then also to track, measure, and improve the content by giving them access to a lot of statistics and insights in terms of what is being used, what is not being used, what is being searched for, and so forth. So that's really how you can think about SlideHub and the SlideHub product across like these 4 core pillars. All right, so what is new in Q1? In Q1, we have worked across all the 4 pillars. So for this short presentation on what's new in Q1, I'll focus on each of these pillars and then present what's new sort of within each of them. If we take a look at the first pillar, the ability to find unbranded content, we have a number of new releases this quarter. And a sort of shared theme is the topic of search and improving the search experience. This includes both some UI and UX improvement, but also a number of different functionality. In a short bit, I'll do a quick demonstration of this semantic search and some of the functionality related to how you can use that to both broaden and narrowing your search results. But in addition to that, we also released what we call the key presentation shortcut feature, which is a way for administrators to flag certain presentations as being more important than the rest, and then making those available directly in the task pane in PowerPoint. Two other noteworthy improvements is the ability for you to choose the sorting logic in your search results, where you can choose between what has been used the most, what is the latest, what has been recently updated, and so forth. And you can now also sort of refine your search more by combining your search terms with the word not or in addition to the existing feature of using and as well. So you can really sort of widen and narrowing your search results through that. If we take a closer look at the semantic search functionality, then sort of the background behind this is that we first of all always want to do what we can to make this very essential feature as good as humanly possible. It is that we should notice that it wasn't as fast as we really wanted it to be. So what we sort of done is that we have done two core things. One is that we have introduced the semantic search and the associated search types, but we also just made the whole system run substantially faster. So I'll just share my screen directly and then give you a glimpse into some of the changes we've done. So the first thing we have done in this quarter is that we have changed how the search experience works in the task pane in PowerPoint. So you can use the little search icon here to do the quick search experience. And what you'll notice is that this one shows up right away. And you can then start typing here to get results that goes across the different libraries you're part of. Or you can click a library directly and sort of explore using the categories and so forth. If you want to see the larger view, you can click the little button here, and it will show out the more familiar larger sort of search experience. To introduce the semantic search, then what semantic search really is all about is basically like using some of the underlying technology from AI to increase the number of potential matches when you do a search. So not only just relying on title safety, but also expanding the number of matches to include stuff that have relevant meaning to what you search for. And they also sometimes include meaning across languages. Give a simple example. If I search for implementation, you'll see with semantic search involved, I get a 50 results all in all. That includes, various implementation plans, things that has the word implementation directly in the labels and so forth. With this new update, you can see the choose of leads of implementation in SlideHub. You can also see with this new update that you have the ability to narrowing down your search here. And this option comes up automatically when relevant. So when the number of items is exceeding 10, this one starts showing up. If I narrow the search, you'll see that the number of search results decreases down to 26, including some of the results that was found before. What we do when we narrow the search results is that we disable the semantic search and only sort of rely on actual keyword matches, either in the content of the slides or in the different labels or visual stickers here. At this point, you also see there's a third option to exclude content results. When doing this, we exclude all results that are results due to the slide containing the word implementation, like as you see here. So if I click that, only results that actually have the implementation in this visual sticker or in the text and text labels and categories are included, but not the content results. And this can be very helpful if you get a very large number of results, or if you're searching for a very common English word that is very frequently found in the content. With this update, you can also select your search type directly. So I can change it directly here, and you can see the number of search results updates, just like I did with the option before. So you can do those filters here. And by the way, this is also where you can change the sorting logic to as mentioned previously. So this is just a glimpse into the semantic search. Yeah, so hopefully you will get a chance to experience that live as well. All right, so that was some of the key items related to the find on-brand content. If we take a closer look at the second pillar, we also did a number of important improvements. The first improvement we did was related to the presentation builder. And I'll talk a little bit more about what the presentation builder is in a second. The second thing was that we expanded upon our placeholder functionality, making this option to have personal placeholders. Both of these I'll dive into in a second. Lastly, we also did improvements to the way the image gets replaced in SlideHub, where before we did not adjust the size of the images directly, but now we sort of automatically crop the images to match the target position. And we do this sort of slightly intelligently by finding the relevant part of each image when it gets inserted. All right, if we take a closer look at the first two, then for the presentation builder in this quarter, we have introduced what we call rules. Rules is a way for end users in a very simple interface to customize the presentation to be more relevant for the given context. But before we dive into that, we have a small video that introduces it. I just want to say a few words about what is the presentation builder in general. So you can think of the presentation builder as a way to introduce variable slides into a presentation. So an example of this would be, for example, something we do on SlideHub that we have when we have to do a demo presentation. We will customize, the team who's presenting will customize slides related to the particular product we are talking about. We also customize which cases we bring forward. We might also customize, certain specific feature areas that's relevant for the client. But instead of having the end user to go through the SlideHub library and finding these slides sort of more manually, the presentation builder helps the end user to sort of easily pick the right slides that matches the context. Right? And with the rules, you basically get an even simpler way to do that. So let's have a closer look at this short video.
Rules in the presentation builder make it even easier for end users to quickly find and select the most relevant slides. Think of rules as filters within variable slide groups, allowing you to narrow down results and display only the most relevant slides. This is especially useful when managing multiple products, services, regions, or industries. For example, if your company offers different solutions, you can create a rule that enables users to filter slides based on the specific product or service they need. Another addition is the review function, allowing you to review your presentations before inserting it, ensuring the right slides have been selected. Users with manager rights can create and apply rules to variable slide groups. To do so, go to a presentation builder and find the variable slide group you want to add a rule to. Then you will also need to decide on the rule. This should be based on how you want users to filter slides. For example, if you have a client case studies, you might want to filter by industry. Rules filter slides based on labels, such as categories, subcategories, and tags. If your slides are already labeled correctly, go to the Rules tab and click Create Rule. If they aren't labeled yet, head to the slide settings to add the appropriate labels first. Since my slides aren't labeled correctly for the rule I want to create, I need to add the appropriate labels first. To label all the slides in the variable slide group, I'll go to Manage Slides Overview and filter by the variable slide group's existing label, and then apply the correct labels to all the slides. In this case, I use tags to label the slides based on industry, such as advisory, biotech, law, and investment, as I want my rule to be based on the client's industry for client cases variable group. After I'm done labeling all the slides, all I need to do is go back to the presentation builder and click the Rules tab to create a rule. First, you need to give it a name, such as for example industry or product type or region, and then add a guide text for users. You can set the rule as optional or mandatory, and you can also decide if users can select one or multiple options. Now all that's left to do is link the labels to the rule. Just like with variable slide groups, select the relevant text and all the slides already in the variable group with those tags will appear when the rule is applied. To apply the rule to a variable slide group, go back to the variable slide group you want to use it for and select the rule you just created. With these updates, end users can filter slides faster and build presentations more efficiently. Plus, before inserting the final deck, you can now preview the presentation to ensure everything looks correct. If you need help setting up rules, feel free to reach out to our customer success team.
All right. So hopefully you took away a few key things from this video. One, hopefully you notice the end user experience was focused on this rather simple interface where you pick the result of the rules. The idea then is that helps to then filter down the following slides, right? So that's a key part of how the rules works. I think another important takeaway is probably that the presentation builder really leverages the existing work that has been done in the library, so you can leverage the existing category label system. This also means that if done correctly, any update you do to your library will automatically sort of be implemented into the relevant presentation builders. So you can have multiple presentation builders being updated as a result of sort of good library maintenance. Another takeaway that I'm sure many people took away from this is that it can be slightly complicated to setting this up correctly. And for that, we help or provide unmetered support to get this configured correctly. Through Rune and his colleagues in the customer success team. All right, another feature we introduced here in Q1 is the personal placeholders. So just quickly recapping placeholders in the SlideHub context, it basically means a simple way to fill out certain parts of the text in presentations. This is very typically used for example, if you're preparing a proposal, you can very quickly sort of prompt the end users to fill in the client name or the day of the presentation, the client industry, your contact information, and many other things. And with personal placeholders, we sort of take that to the next level. So let's take a look at the video that goes through this in a bit more detail.
Personal placeholders are perfect for details you use repeatedly, like your name, role, or email. This makes downloading files with placeholders faster and more convenient. Managers can enable personal placeholders for their team in the placeholder settings. Just click the cogwheel icon next to the specific placeholder identifier and toggle on Allow end users to save their data and then update the settings. Now, as an end user, when you download a file with placeholders, you'll see a Save Data toggle next to the personal placeholders. Just switch it on and your data will be saved. Next time you won't need to fill in the same placeholder again, and your slides will be automatically customized with your saved data. To have an overview of all your personal placeholders and update them, go to your personal profile settings and open the Placeholder Data tab. This tab appears once a manager creates a personal placeholder for the first time. Simply edit your data, hit Save, and you're all set.
All right. So I think one important thing probably two important takeaways from this personal placeholder feature. One is that once you set up the personal placeholders for you as an individual, a lot of the slides that has placeholders will actually not even be prompting or not even prompt you to fill out anything out. They'll just be automatically customized. This can also be done for for Word templates as well, and all the documents where you want to keep your phone number or location or department or title and other things like that sort of in sync for the presentation that you use. Yeah, another thing regarding the placeholders is how the personal placeholder and the ability to manage those as an end user, they only show up the moment the account manager introduces this functionality, right? So we really want to make sure we don't confuse the end users unnecessarily until there's actually a reason for seeing these things. All right, moving on to the third pillar and looking a bit more at the content management side. We've done a number of updates related to how content is being updated and managed. But there's no deep dives, but I just want to go through quickly some of the changes we've done. So one is that it's now possible to directly update Word and Excel files via their respective task pane, so directly in Word or directly in Excel. We also disabled slide warnings, and this means that certain slides, for example, slides that have inspiration content or where the intention is for those slides to be heavily modified, you can mark those as not using the version warning system. So by doing that, you'll sort of avoid sending false positives with version warnings of those slides when they get updated. Another thing is that if you're working in the presentation builder, you can now with a single click download all slides in a given variable slide group. And this sort of allows you to much faster sort of update a large group of sort of related slides. Another feature that we've received a lot of positive feedback from is our smart image compression. What that does is that it analyzes all the pictures in your slides, and it looks for how big are these slides or sort of these images actually in PowerPoint. And then it sort of optimizes to what extent those images are compressed. So if you, for example, have a really small headshot of a person, that will be compressed quite a lot. While if you have a really big image, like a background of a presentation, something like that, that will be compressed a lot less. And by doing that, we actually found that we can compress the sizes of larger presentation with up to 80% without any sort of visual implications at all, regardless of how these presentations are viewed and whether it's on big screens or in print. The last thing is that it's now a lot easier to label slides when being added directly through PowerPoint or when being suggested. If we look at the last pillar into the track, measure, and improve pillar, we also done a number of improvements to how the statistic system works. So there's a number of sort of general improvements. One focused on enabling more support for teams. So team managers can now go in and view the statistics as well for the teams where they are a manager. We also introduced the editor role both on team and in general, and this role also has access to the statistic now. And then generally, there's just a number of improved sort of statistic views and filtering options in the view. But probably the biggest change in statistic area this quarter is the estimated time save functionality. So with that functionality, it's basically a sort of recognition that everybody have a boss, or a lot of times also they also have a finance department that will be looking through the cost statement, and at some point people would need to do a justification of why to pay for SlideHub, and with this functionality we sort of give people a tool and a way to communicate some of the time that gets saved by using SlideHub. It is fairly assumption based, as we've also seen in the video in a second, but we do think it's a good sort of starting point to have a conversation about return on investment. So let's have a look.
When viewing the statistics overview in SlideHub, you will now see an estimated time saved metric. This gives you insight into how much time your team has saved over the last 6 months. Plus, you can view a monthly breakdown graph for a more detailed overview. The estimated time saved is calculated by looking at the number of assets downloaded or actions taken in SlideHub and comparing that to the time it would typically take to do the same task manually. Since these numbers are based on assumptions, you can learn more about how they are calculated by visiting our Help Center. And if you are building a business case and want to go deeper into the details, feel free to reach out to our customer success team.
All right, so those were the things that we wanted to focus on in terms of what's new in Q1. If you want to have a closer look at some of the things today presented here today, we so welcome you to check out our blog. Our blog is very product oriented, and if you go in there now, you'll see that the free last product updates is available there, where we have more detailed videos and also like a write-up of all the changes. Additionally, for those of you who are existing SlideHub clients, you'll notice there's a red dot inside of SlideHub that sort of indicates whenever an update has been made to the system, and you can click that and see the changes as they come live. We typically update the application 2 to 3 times per week, so you can sort of follow along with those updates directly in the application. All right. So that's the stuff that's already released. Let's have a closer look at some of the stuff that's coming. So on a really high level, we got to continue implementing functionality that goes across the 4 pillars of SlideHub. We highlighted 4 things that we're not going to go into more depth with in a little bit, but just quickly adding a comment on some of the other functionality that doesn't have these deep dive next indications. One is the fixed slide group. This is going to be a functionality that serves a number of different purposes. One is that it allows people to select certain slides to always show up in the same order. This can be helpful, for example, if you have, if you're working in a regulated industry and you want to make sure a certain like disclaimer is always inserted along with certain information. But it can also be used in a setting in combination with the presentation builder, where you can have like an entire like storyline or a full section that ideally needs to come in the right order, and then you can have those be inserted directly into your presentation builder as a way to customize it quickly and sort of in a very so controlled way. The logo and image placeholder is a way to build upon the placeholder concept, but then also apply it to logos and images. For example, if you want to put the logo of the potential client in a proposal deck, you would be able to do that via that functionality. Dynamic work templates is basically like a word take on the presentation builder, so for further automation. Then the PDF file support. There's a little bit one of those things where it's based on our own use of SlideHub, and we just see that the only reason why our customer success and salespeople need to access things like OneDrive, or the main reason they still use OneDrive in their workflow, is to access PDF files. So we want to introduce PDF file support so that you can get some of the same functionality related in SlideHub also added to PDFs. Additionally, sort of this PDF functionality is also going to be a really good support for some of the AI features that I'm going to present in a little bit. Then we're going to add more functionality to the presentation builder, and then we're going to introduce this concept of managed data, which is basically a way for library managers to do updates to certain data points. That could be prices, or it could be certain product descriptions and other ways that will then automatically update a large number of dependent slides. So it's really a way to streamline the workflows of managers and how they update central data points. All right, and then we're going to add and sort of additional layer of security. Particularly, we're going to add a third layer of encryption to our password hashes, And we also are going to add support for two-way authentication, both as a standalone feature, but also in combination with SSO and Office logins. All right. So those are some of the non-highlights, but let's take a closer look at some of the other features that's coming. One feature we've been working on for a while is this ability to use your existing content in SlideHub as a source for what we call AI-powered content search. So the idea is that a lot of our clients, including ourselves, have a lot of up-to-date, well-maintained content sitting in the library. And with this new feature, people are going to be able to ask that content questions. And then what the AI will do is then basically search the library, read the relevant content, and then come back with a summary of the answer. So just here. So this is like a simple example where we're asking how does SlideHub help consultants, and it then comes back with a summary of how we do that, as long as with which are the supporting slides that sort of drove that answer. So the whole idea is to make take the best thing from SlideHub, which is the on-brand version control, well-managed content, and then combine it with this sort of modern AI technology, but doing it in a way where it becomes very clear where the answers come from, so that you can see that things are not just made up or hallucinated, but it's something that you can actually go and look at the sources directly. So we believe it's a nice way to use AI to get more value from the content you already have in SlideHub. Yeah. Another functionality that's also being worked on as we speak is this ability to assign ownership of assets. So you'll be able to, both on slides and documents and icons and so forth, you can go in and assign as who has the responsibility for updating and maintaining these slides. And the idea is then if you don't have access to those, you'll be notified, hey, someone else is actually responsible for these things. And you will also be able to go in and in the sort of overview of slides, you'll be able to go in and see which of the slides that I manage. So particularly for large organizations with many library managers, this is a way to kind of streamline the maintenance and the responsibility across those libraries. Another thing that's coming in the coming quarters is the template and format validation. The idea here is that whenever you add something to SlideHub, that the system will automatically check the template and the fonts and the colors, and to make sure that the new content being added to SlideHub is on brand and uses the right templates and sort of branding guidelines. The idea is then also to expand upon that functionality so that you can go into the existing slides in the library and scan those and make sure that those are up to date, and then further use that functionality to then also go in and change the master to apply another brand over time. So for example, if you have a change in your master template or changing your branding, you can use this functionality to do mass updates of the library in SlideHub. All right. There we go. Then the last thing I just want to show that we also sort of in the early phases of is this whole idea of making of sending out presentations and then tracking whether they get read or not. So this has I think two core values. One is that a lot of times presentation can become too big to send via email, and people would rely on sending them through other sources. So with this functionality, you can basically generate a link and share that link with a potential reader of the presentation, and you will then be able to go and see whether that link was ever clicked through this SlideHub platform. So it gives you a little bit of insight to whether people are engaging with your material. The interface will also allow you to see whether some of the slides that has been sent have been updated in the meantime. So if you're a salesperson or someone who sends out important presentations, you'll be aware that, hey, some of these presentations, might need an update, or might need to be aware that a certain client is actually looking at outdated material. So that's also a feature we hope to get released within the next 2 months as well. So that is what's coming. Then I just wanted to open up for any questions and potential polls and so any potential questions. And before we go into the traditional QA, we wanted to test a quick poll based on all your feedback so far. So we just added a quick poll here to get your feedback in terms of which functionality you're sort of most excited about in terms of what I've shown so far. So please do us a favor and give it a click. And also by doing that, of course, helping us optimizing our roadmap for the coming or our efforts for the coming months. Okay, while that being filled, if anybody have any questions or comments, please now is a great time to fire away. All right. Okay. Not a lot of things there, but if anybody have any questions or comments they would like to take in a less public forum, you're more than welcome to email me directly. I'm at anders@slidehub.com, but you're also more than welcome to contact my two co-founders, Rune and Lasse, particularly for existing clients. Rune would be the suggested go-to. For potential clients, Lasse is your man. And if anything's come up, just let us know. Also, if anybody want to do me and or SlideHub in general a personal favor, we would love to get a positive review on G2. You can do that in 2 ways. We just posted how to do it here in the chat. That's basically like a fast way where you use your existing SlideHub login to do it really quickly, or there's a slightly slower way where you go through G2. In both cases, we would love to give a small gratitude of 25 USD in an Amazon gift card. But yeah, you can see the instructions in the chat if that's something you want to help us with. Other than that, I just want to say thanks again for your time and attention, and hope to see you again on the next one. Thanks a ton.